c'est les deux bords. Bon. Martin, je t'enregistre en ce moment.
Toi aussi. Avoid legal snags by telling people they're being recorded. Well,
I'm ready to go.
What's going on, everyone? Marty here at Père Extrême, and I have with me today. That's your cue.
That's my cue? Oh, shit. I'm touching my titties.
Let's do it again. What's going on, guys? Marty here from Père Extrême, and I have with me today
Pierre from Outdoor Therapy. How you doing, buddy?
And welcome to the first episode of Talk to Me, Brother, a weekly podcast coming to you, not live, recorded, obviously, but coming to you hopefully weekly. And it's basically Pierre and I talking shit for hours on end about the outdoors. So hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you like the vibe and what we're going to be talking about and whatnot. But this is the first episode. Maybe you can give us a quick, you want to give us or give the audience a quick kind of, how did this come to be? Where did we come up with this idea? Just so they understand what we're doing.
Well, you and I are best buddies for a long time now. And
that's a large glass.
That's a...
I was hoping to hide this from people.
No, man. You just said that's pop, buddy. It's not whiskey, people. But no, really, really, we've known each other for many years now, and we both love the outdoor. And lately, since we both launched our channel last January, we're like talking to each other every day when we're coming back from work, or even sometimes at work, about like everything on the channel, on our different channels, on what's going on the YouTube, on what's going on in the outdoor community, and we're chatting,
and gear options,
and what worked, what
trips,
shit, and trips, and all of that. And we were at one point we were just, man, that's actually really interesting. Some people might find it interesting too. So why not share the love? That's basically it. Why not share the love? And hopefully you guys will have some comments to give us too about like any subject that we'll bring. But basically we're going to be talking shit about the outdoors, about YouTube, about what we love, and make friends. That's the goal.
Absolutely. And the name came about, I think I was the first one to use the sentence, because every now and again when we text back and forth, one of us will ghost a conversation just because, we have lives and we can't just talk gear all day long.
Well,
so every now and again, whenever you'd ghost a conversation, I'd go like, yo, talk to me, son. Talk to me, brother. That's how it started.
That's how it started. And I was like, you know what, man? When we were like searching for a title for that podcast, I was like, Marty, you always start the conversation by telling me exactly that. Talk to me, brother. And I'm like, that's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is. So am I the only one with a drink for the evening?
Absolutely not. I'm no peasant.
Absolutely not.
I'm no peasant. I'm having I've never tried this one before. It's from Ashton Brew Company. It's an Amber Ale.
There you go.
And I think it's going to be pretty sick. It's
one
the
of
NBC.
You're one of the only guy online that's not going for IPAs nowadays. You just like to be different. You're just one of those guys. You're gonna refuse good beer just to be different.
No.
Yes.
It's just I have taste. That's the difference. No, I do enjoy a good IPA from time to time. It's just when you go to microbrewery, it's all that. It's almost only
it's
that.
In.
It's like 7 IPAs, 2 Pilsner, 1 Lager, and if you're lucky, an Amber, or if you're really lucky, like a Stout or a Scotch Ale. I'm like,
a Scotch Ale, they're rare.
They're rare. They're the best.
The Scotch Ale, they're pretty good, and they're good, like bang for your buck. You buy one, and they're like, they're usually pretty. They're for men.
Yeah,
they're not for children.
This is
you don't need 6. You don't need 6.
What? Oh man, that's for another time. But you know me, sometimes I forget that there is alcohol in those bottles, and I just enjoy myself too much.
Fair enough.
So
what'd you do today? Well, let's talk about we're kind of in a weird situation. I'd love to do these lives with you, but we're not even allowed to see each other physically. So we're just hanging out over Skype. But this is a neat setup, though.
Yeah, well, the reality is we have to be socially responsible, right? And when you think about and we love going hiking, we love going camping, we love going canoe camping and all of that stuff. Right now in Canada, the national parks are closed down.
Yeah. We're asked to stay home.
We're asked to stay home to do some social distancing. And we're on so many different groups of outdoor, and there's a lot of people asking the question, is it okay if I go do a hike? Is it okay if I go camping? And I got a friend working at CBC, which is Canada National News. And I was like, okay, you get all the information. Like, tell me, is it okay to go camping? And his answer was absolutely spot on. It's like, it's okay. Like, physically, if you go camping, you're not like near
in
people.
Contact. You're alone.
But the reality is, what does it take to go camping? Well, you're going to go buy some food. You're going to stop to put some gas in the car. You're going to, eventually, you're going to talk to people. And if you go on a hike, well, guess what? There's a ton of people on trails. So, yeah, the reality is you should stay home. That's what it is. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah. And that's certainly a good segue, because you pointed out something very interesting that Darwin on his Instagram talked about yesterday, because for the class of 2020, all the thru hikers, they're all asked to come off the trail, and it's unfortunate, but it's just the reality of it. But he really explained it well in his Instagram stories, if you guys had the time to watch this, where he's explaining, most people go through hike any long trails, which I have zero experience, and I know that you don't as well, but a lot of people go there to think I'm going to be alone, solo in my thoughts. It's going to be life-changing. It's going to be deep research. And there's a lot of that. But the first thing that most people realize is that it's such a heavy community-based activity, and all the communities along the trail are going to be suffering if people don't come off. There's a lot of things that are closed. You don't want to, and those communities are small. They don't have a lot of hospital beds. They don't have a lot of, so if we start spreading the viruses like this, they're not going to be able to get back up from that. So I don't want to talk too much, like I said, it's not my field of expertise or anything like this, but it is like, dude, that sucks. Like, if you spent the last 6 months, a year, or 2 years or 5 years financially prepping to do that, and this happens, it just is. Like, a lot of people are asking me so many things, and I'm like, dude, it just is. Like, it sucks.
It's what it is. You gotta.
It's just what it is. But that's a smart thing to do, right? And I think for us as well, like, I wouldn't necessarily discourage local hikes and kind of exploring the bush around your house, just not going too far, obviously, like within like a very small radius, especially if I have kids. So I try to go out a little bit, but I avoid people. Like, I haven't been going to, and on my channel, I'll be actually putting out some content as to what to do with your kids outside in that kind of timing. And I'm actually not recommending to go to trailheads. I'm recommending for you to find little patches of woods that is close to you and go explore there, where because trailheads, this is where people are going to be at. But we found a couple of vacant lots close to here. We've been walking in, and it's actually really it's fucking beautiful in there. I couldn't believe it. I was like, dude, this is like a minute away from my house. Like, you can't go on like a 10-mile hike.
Enjoy it while there's no construction on it.
Yeah, well, there's no construction, but like, it's a beautiful piece of land. Yeah. So we're in there just playing, discovering. So, people still need to go outside, still need to get some vitamin D, still need to get some exercise in. But man, I had to forfeit my trip to Newfoundland this year.
That's
Nat and I had to make that decision, and it sucks. Like, plain old. And I was in denial. Nat had been Nat's my wife, by the way, for everyone watching. And she had been talking to me about it for a while now, like weeks, and she saw it coming. She saw it coming somehow. I was in denial. And a couple of days ago, I woke up. I'm like, we're not going to Newfoundland. And it's not even.
You didn't cancel it though. You got to be honest there. You didn't.
It's
cancel
postponed.
It. You postponed.
It's certainly postponed. But like the reality of it is that yes, there's the coronavirus. You don't want to infect more people. You don't want to go into communities and put yourself at risk or others. Because the reality is, most likely, if you and I catch it, most likely, it's going to be a sucky 2 weeks. It's going to suck. Yeah. It's going to suck bad. But most likely, you'll be fine. But it's everyone else around you. You know, it literally is everyone else around you. It's not about you. It's about this is one of the things that, you know, we've never lived this. Our grandparents went to war. At least my he escaped going to war, but that was his time. We didn't. No, we went through our entire lives without doing that really. But this is in many ways, the way I would assume World War I and World War II affected the entire world, this is affecting our entire world. Like humanity has to come together. Everybody stay the fuck home. Yeah. You know, Skype with your friends. Yeah. And what a cool time to be stuck at home. Imagine doing this in the 40s. Imagine doing this in the 40s. Imagine doing this without the internet, pre-internet, even in early 2000. This wouldn't be happening then.
No, for sure. But early 2000, we had board games, so.
Board games are always there, but you know, like some people are alone.
I'm kidding.
Some people are alone.
For sure. It would suck. It would suck so much. So much more. So much more. Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, my message. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say. But then, what do you do? Because if I
it's
go back
time
to the question,
regroup. Yeah, well, to go back to that, but honestly, before we dive a bit more into this, it's time to regroup. Tell people you love them, that you love them. Spend time with, you know, when's the last time families had to spend that much time in close quarters together? Like
families like small, like families with children that are still home. But to be honest, my sisters like. I'm early 30 in my early 30s, and I mean I'm not gonna go spend time at my sister's place with her children.
No. But for her to spend time with her.
Mom, yeah, exactly. But I mean, like I don't get to see my family. I mean, I got my girlfriend. We spend a shit ton of time together now, but I don't get to see my family.
Yeah,
and people that's hard. People that are overseas stuck don't get to see their family.
No,
people that are on cruise ship sucks even more because they're stuck with strangers.
But it comes at dude. There's strange times, man. It's empty out there. Yeah. There's nobody outside. The roads are empty. But it comes at a time where I strongly believe that humanity needs a bit of a break.
Oh, it is.
Where we need to just like.
It's a break on so many things. I mean,
Mother Nature.
Well, Mother Nature is going to like the fact that every car on Earth is not on the road right now, so that must be a good thing. But more than that, way more than that, I think this will change our society, the way we do things. Now, like everyone's got to work from home, or almost everyone's got to work from home, and you're like, oh, but I didn't think that was possible with my job.
Yeah. But now it's like
you
make it work.
Like I gotta make it work, and then well, is it a good thing? Is it the way we're going? But when you think about it, how many companies will be created by the fact that they don't need to have a store on the street to sell their services now?
It's strange times right now. Yeah. Very different than what we're used to. And when we come out of this, I feel like we're going to be operating super differently than we are right now, because we're going to realize, like, man, we actually don't need to drive into work. We don't need a lot of things. We manage pretty good with bare minimums.
You need an excellent internet connection.
That's the day the grid goes, we go.
We go. We're out back in the dark age. But no, that's another thing that I thought that actually pissed me off a little.
Yeah.
All the big internet companies out there were like, okay, we're opening the dam. It's unlimited internet for everyone for like the next 2 months.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so that was easy.
Yeah,
You just need to like. So you're telling me the system could handle that before, and you just say no to it. But now it's fine. We're pressing the button.
Fine. Yeah.
Now it's fine. It should have been that.
But that's a North America problem. In the state, my understanding is overseas in Europe and all that, like especially cell phones and all that, their plans are much cheaper.
Better. Yeah, but
much cheaper.
If you want to go there, you got to understand though that in every country in Europe, the size of the country is like 100 times smaller than let's say Canada, and they have about 10 times more people in the same place. So if you got 10 million people that are paying for the one tower versus 50 people paying for the one tower, and then you're like, oh, but in the country where there's 50 people,
that makes sense.
You need to add 2-3 times the numbers of towers that the other country needs. So
that's actually a really good point.
Like that's what it is.
Yeah, the infrastructure, it might be a lot. I don't know. I don't know what we're talking.
We got such a big country with
territory
so
to cover
in it. Yeah. And that's why also like I've crossed our country, which is again it's huge. I mean, it's bigger than the Atlantic Ocean. I've crossed the country, and there is a ton of dead zone. For cell phone reception, like there is. It's impossible to cover right now, unless the next big step is gonna be like Elon Musk. That's like, I've put 10,000 little satellite over the globe, and now everyone's got free Wi-Fi and like free GPS because I covered the globe.
It's a matter of
time
before we
get
there. Yeah.
I think it's gonna get there while we're alive. Yeah,
I agree. But now, to all of our friends out there, outdoor women, outdoorsmen, what do you do? What did you do today?
Man,
what did you do today?
I've been putting that aside for so long, and now I'm like, 2 days.
I have to say, because I know what you're going to say, because we talked before, but I actually do it on a very regular basis. It's therapy for me to do that.
Yeah, well, I cleaned my gear room. That's what I did, people. I opened that room and I took everything out. My dog was like, "What the heck's going on?" He's not going upstairs. He's taking stuff out the room, and it's a room I've never seen before. What is this? Yeah. And I just took everything out, cleaned everything, and like reassessed and redid the inventory of all of the gear that I have. And I stumbled on some stuff. I was like, "Oh, I thought I lost this. I thought I threw it away. I thought it was broken or something." And then I stumbled also upon. I mean, I've been gathering gear for like a long time.
And you know what, most beginners, because I mean, I've been into the outdoors since I was 12. Like that's 20 years now. I mean, I started collecting gear really when I was about 18. Right? Because at 12 you don't have money, right? Yeah. When I was 18, and you know what most beginner outdoors men or women do, that's not a mistake because it gets you out, but you try a lot of cheap shit. Yeah. You really do. And then that stuff.
I got a notification. That's bull. I'm sorry, Ben.
You got a notification on your phone.
I did it. I thought I turned everything off.
I hope it was a new subscriber.
No, I hope you know it was a game, damn it. But no, really, we go for the cheap stuff at the beginning. You're absolutely right. But it's because you can gear yourself for $500, or you can buy one item for $500.
Absolutely. Gear's a rabbit hole that never ends. Like it's a never ending.
And you need to start. You need to go out there. So you take the cheap way to start.
Any fun finds?
Oh my God. I've got this. Can you guess what that is?
You know, for a split sec, I thought it was your like Gerber machete or something.
No, it's not a machete. It's not a machete. But you're not too far on.
That's some kind of a post, though. So that's super orange. You can't lose it. If you drop it on the ground, you can't lose it unless you drop it in the fire.
Yeah.
Or if it's to fall.
Or if it's fall. But no.
So what is it?
Okay, I'm gonna unscrew it. I'm gonna have to build it. And
so is this gonna go in the landfill after, or what are you gonna do with it?
I don't know, man.
Like if we had a massive following, you could like auction it off for free, like just like give it away, just as a souvenir from Talk to Me Brother house.
I'm like, I don't hate people that much.
We should do this. We should do this if we ever have a large enough following.
Yeah.
We take some of our shittiest, oldest gear, and we give it away, not for people to use, just as a souvenir from us. Yes. How does that sound?
I'm done with it. Because that piece of thing, it sucks. I'm building it right now.
You're building it. Oh, it's a saw.
It is. It's a saw. It's a saw. But I'll show you why I thought it was such a great idea when I got it. Because it was dirt cheap. It was $20.
And it doesn't cut. It's $20. It doesn't cut.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through the top process there to like. Okay, I'm almost done here. Nice.
It's too long.
Oh no, I forgot. It's so long. I forgot a piece too. Imagine there. I thought I was ready. I forgot one of the pieces. But the thing is, I was looking for again something cheap because I didn't have a shitload of money at the time. I didn't. Because you put the pipe on, you put the big pipe. That's the one I forgot. So yeah, I was looking for
some rigidity.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, man.
So it's a bucksaw, though, right?
It's a bucksaw. Exactly. Yeah. It's a bucksaw. It's freaking a nightmare to build because there's no part staying together. And it's right there.
And you're comfortably sitting in your basement with a table. Imagine if it's minus 40.
Exactly. You're seeing where I'm going with this, okay? So, and it hurts when you use it. It hurts. It's not. Yeah.
You're not really supposed to cut your arm off with it. You know that, right? It's for the trees.
You know me. You're telling me the fire's hot. Don't touch it. Of course I gotta touch it. And I put for the joke, and actually as a safety precaution, I've put the saw blade. So it's not gonna touch me, but it needs to be put the right way. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna cut any cable, but anyway, see, man, that's way too long. It's crazy. It's way too long, and it's imperfect in a major way, major way. Okay, so you see, it took me like 10,000 hours to build.
Okay.
And then I'm almost there. I'm almost
and
there.
You know what?
My tree's gonna get cut soon. I find the tree. It's raining. It's cold outside. Oh baby, it's cold outside. Okay, so bucksaw's done. It wasn't worth it. $20. Okay. I was like, it's super light. It actually is super light. When it was folded, you've seen how small the thing was. Super easy and compact.
Leave it on the outside.
Leave it. So far, it's a win. It's a win-win, right? $20. Super small when it's fold up. Really light, but then when you start using it, the blade, it just snaps off all the time because there's nothing underneath to hold it. There's absolutely nothing.
Oh, people. It's just wedged in there?
There's no like plugs. Wedge. Exactly. It
needs a couple of plugs.
It's so dumb. So you start working with it,
and then it just comes right off.
It just comes right off. And then you've seen how long it took me to put it. Then you gotta do it again. And
you gotta start from scratch.
You gotta start from scratch. Re-put the thing, retie it up, and start again. I hate it so much, so much.
Why didn't?
But it came with 2 blades. Hey, $20.
Can you use those blades on your? So what'd you replace that with then?
Buddy, I replaced it with a godsend.
And wait, before you show the news, well, take it out. That's fine. You were probably really stoked when you bought that first blade, right?
Man, I was king of the hill.
We all are. All are. You buy the shittiest gear and you're so happy with it.
Fuck yeah. And then I was like, okay, it's time to I deserve it. Yeah. I was like, I deserve it. I was getting big time into bushcraft and making shelters, and also I went and got the Agua Canyon Boreal 21 saw. It takes 0.2 seconds.
That's too long already.
And it's ready to go, buddy. I love this.
Yeah,
honestly, man,
that's the best one.
It's so good. It is awesome. And to change the blade, it costs like I think it's $12 if you want to get a new blade.
Where do you get the blade? Like you can't go to a Canadian Tire.
Mac will have them.
Oh, where'd you buy that?
MEC.
Oh, you bought it right at MEC?
Right there.
I didn't know MEC had that. Okay.
So
REI will have it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm gonna put that back there. Give me 2 seconds because I got a gift last Christmas.
Yeah.
Again,
yeah.
And it's gonna fall through that. I'm gonna put that there.
Yeah.
But then I got this guy over here.
That's your Silky, right?
That's my big boy Silky, which my stepfather gave it to me. He was like, "What is this? Is it a katana or something?" Man, this is okay. It's big.
Yeah.
It is made to use with 2 hands. It's big. It's really aggressive, but you gotta learn to use your tool. That's the next thing I went for. I did not know how to use a saw properly before. To be honest, I had to learn how to use a saw
because the blade will bend on you, right? Quite easily.
Oh, man. Easily this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like super easily. So you got.
So it's a lot better to pull than to push, probably. Anyways, with it. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't work if you pull. It doesn't cut when you pull. It only cuts when you tie. Where did you say that? When you tie? No. When you.
So when you pull, it cuts.
When you pull,
push, it doesn't.
When you pull.
Okay, so so it's much better. So once you understand that, you can fix a stroke. Yeah.
Exactly, but the beauty with this is since it's not like a boxa where you got like the top, which is a metal bar. So just from there, there's certain size of pieces of wood you won't be able to cut through. You're gonna have to use a different technique to go through.
Flip them around.
Around. Exactly. You're not gonna have this problem with this.
Yeah.
And it's much aggressive, much more aggressive. So when you're working with hardwood, man, that guy's a beast.
Oh, with hardwood, that's better. The teeth are much
better.
More. Okay.
So much better. I went and did an outing about a week ago before we couldn't anymore, and. And Big Al, you guys are going to see Big Al one day for sure in our videos. He's often there. He's
always there.
He's always there. Big Al has a Boreal 21 as well. He's got this guy as well.
I tried his last summer.
And he looked at me like we were sawing on the same big lug. And he looked at me and was like, Jesus Christ, looks like you're going through butter. Yeah. And he's sweating and working so hard. I'm like, yeah. So that one is a little bit more expensive when you want to change the blade. And it doesn't come with a sheet. I think the blade is like $20 if you want to change it.
That's not so bad.
Yeah, it's not so bad. And I bought the sheet on Amazon. And the thing I really liked about it is, sadly, I lost the piece that made it so cool. I gotta find it again. If you look over there, there's a buckle. So I lost the buckle which has a belt loop on it. So it was super easy to just put on your belt and boom and. You got your saw. Because the thing is that I figured out that I really was like, I should have thought of that before. You leave your base camp, you go into forest, finding some wood to process either for your shelter or for your fire. And you're just like, okay, I got like my huge tree that I got to bring back to camp. Where do I put my saw now? Because I need both of my hands to pull the log.
So that's nice.
Exactly. So I was like, oh man, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Because this one, you can buy it with a sheet or without. You choose. You look like Robin Hood. It's a sheet that you put in your back.
No. For real?
Yeah, for real. And you got a choice. You can have it in leather. You can have it in nylon. You choose. Nice. But yeah, I was like, that's so cool.
You can have like a quiver, like an arrow quiver.
Yeah.
You'd be like, and you could probably could you master the technique of just whipping it out and have it kind of come?
Well,
would that be
since
dangerous?
There's a flap. Why? You gotta I mean, we're playing with knives, axes, and saws. So at some point it is dangerous. But no, on the sheet of the Boreal, there's a flap.
Oh, okay.
So it wouldn't work like that. You can't really, but yeah. Anyway, so I was super stoked to find that I didn't throw this away.
You should though. No, keep it. Keep it.
Well,
we're gonna auction it off, or we're gonna give it away one day.
Or I'm gonna just put it on the wall. Because honestly, that back when my girlfriend wants to make it like super crazy with a bunch of different signs and pictures and all, I'm like, let's put this up. Boom.
Picture frames,
Picture frames, exactly. I should. I'm gonna put this away and.
So how much did that set you back? How much was that gear?
That was $20. It was $20.
So
So there's a rule.
The law of $20. Yeah.
Exactly. This is
Mike's law.
Mike's
law. Go for it.
Mike's law. So if it's under $20, don't ask yourself any question. Take it, because it's gonna do two things. Even if it fails on you on the first evening, it was $20. It's like going to the movies. You go to the movies, $20 for an hour. You flip a coin, you never know if it's good or bad. You never know if it's gonna be good. So $20. So I was like, I'm not gonna be in the street. It's okay, it's fine. And I've used it on a couple of outings because I did not have anything else, and I did not know better. And I did not know how to look at the gear before I buy it and be like, oh, there should be plugs there. It would make a big difference in the design, right? But I'm never gonna buy a sign anymore. So that's the thing.
Yeah, but you were set back for $20. I have something here that set me back. It didn't set me back anything, but if I actually purchased it, it'd be like $275.
What did you?
You know exactly what it is. Like, so that's a piece of gear that you regret, right? So that's a piece of gear that I regret, and I'm kind of torn. Because I regret it, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of cool, but I regret it.
But it's 200 and how much? 270.
I want to say it's 275. I don't know if I don't have any way to check it right now, but it's expensive. You might correct it. I think you might know the price.
Show it to me.
Show it.
Show it to me. The price is right there. Is it the freaking BioLite?
The BioLites. Let's unwrap this for everybody. So it actually comes with like a cup, right?
Yeah. Because
simple cup to put your food in.
Yeah.
So this is the full kit. Oh, and I left a grill. I left a grill in the. Yeah, it's fine. The grill, whatever. But it's in. I should have pulled out the grill. So this is a cook system, right? It's so big, and it's like a bomb. So. The reason why I wasn't set back like $250, I think it's above 200.
Yeah, it's about 200. It depends the model you take.
Yeah, it depends on the model you take. So the reason why
I think it's 250, 270.
The reason why it didn't set me back that much is because I used my air miles to buy it back in the day, right?
Okay.
So but I was excited. Look, listen, the idea of it is phenomenal. The practical concept, it's just not that great. So first of all, look at the size of this. This is the kettle that comes in. You don't have to use the kettle, but that's the kettle. And then really the cook, like the stove is here. And and it came with a light. We can try to plug it too. Okay, let's pull it out.
You buy a stove and you get a light. You know it's something weird.
Oh, dude. There's so much like left over. It's a twig stove, so it's full of crap, believe it or not. So it's a twig stove, and it's kind of neat because it's huge, it's heavy. None of this
why would you bring that anywhere?
Here's the thing. So this here. So a twig stove will be super efficient if it can kind of re-burn its own.
Yeah,
you know the Bush Buddy. What it does is it doesn't just burn the twigs; it kind of burns the fume off as well, right?
Absolutely, it's a gasifier.
Yeah, so it makes it super. So this does the same thing, and you have this little add-on here, okay? And that's why I bought it because I thought this was super cool. That attaches to this, so you can use this as is. It'll be okay, but really, what you're looking forward to do is to put this thing here, and then you have a fan.
It's fucking
and
massive.
Can you hear it? That's low. It needs to feel the heat. And then it has a fan. So what it does is it's super efficient, right?
Yeah,
because it feeds it feeds air at the bottom. It kind of re-burns all the fuel and everything. And that's the kicker why I thought it was so awesome is that you have
a USB charger. Is that
heat? Yes. Because of the heat generation here, this is like a converter of some sort with the heat. The technology is kind of cool. And so you can charge your phone with it. But like, honestly, like the problem with it is that you need to run this all night. Like you need to have this next to your campfire all night with your twigs, feeding it to recharge your phone. And it's like, even at 26,000, like here, this is at 26,000 milliamp. Right now I'm plugged in because my phone was about to die. This is lighter than the whole thing. And it's already pretty, like, battery banks are pretty heavy to start, right?
Yeah.
And then look at this. So you put this here, you put your twigs in it, and this fits perfectly on top.
It's so big I can't see you anymore.
And wait, I know. And then it comes with a bit of a light, so you can put it in the USB here. Look at this thing.
But it's so massive.
It's so big. Okay.
And you're telling there's a grill too. I mean, I've seen it in action before. We went camping and you brought it, and I laughed my ass off because I was just like, man, this is so huge.
The light doesn't work right now because there's no heat. So I'll put that away for a second.
You need to put some twigs in. Everything went to shit.
Yeah.
So honestly, when would you use that? It's so big and heavy.
Okay.
And
so the idea is phenomenal. Okay.
Yeah.
And honestly, they make other products that are pretty cool that I wouldn't bring backpacking or canoe camping or anything like that.
Yeah.
Where because I think the company, and I might be wrong, and we'd have to fact check this. Yeah. But this company came up with all these cool engineering ideas to create power for places like in Africa.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like they have this massive like kind of like base camp stove. Man, there's my table's full of
ashes everywhere.
Okay. Where they have this massive camp and like kind of base camp stove where it'll produce electricity. The version after this one is a little bit better. And here's why. See, right now, the fan attachment has a little bit of battery in it, but the USB doesn't work to charge your phone unless there's heat in the canister. And that's what they take the heat of the fire and convert it into electricity. The new version, the yellow thing on the outside, like the converter, is an actual, I think, 10,000 milliamp battery pack. So, if you, okay, humor me for a sec here. If you're going to bring a 10,000 milliamp battery pack and a stove already, right? I mean, twig stoves are much lighter than this, and you don't need to use the kettle to use it. Like, you can literally use this and just put any pot on top. Mm-hmm. You don't need the kettle. The kettle is, I don't know why you'd use a kettle, but you don't need the kettle at all. So you put that on top. You could use your own titanium mug on it. I'd be curious to see how much heavier you would be. But right now, I'm stuck having to bring my 26,000 milliamp battery pack because I don't have anything else anyways. And that. Well, you know what I mean?
I think with my 4-ounce twig stove.
Yes,
still
in
much
your
like...
case. In your case, it might be, but I don't think that it's that much heavier than a Bush Buddy.
Well, we have to fact check that.
Yeah, I'm just saying
right now.
Like,
that'd be interesting to know.
It might be max a pound heavier.
When that would be really useful in my mind is if you go
like right now the electricity goes and we can't go anywhere.
No, it's more like when I went to the Northwest Territories, that would have been practical.
No portages.
No portages. But even if there's a portage, I mean, you can tie it to the canoe. But the point is, if you know you're gonna be out there for like a month, it's great to know that you can like recharge. Yeah. Even if you don't recharge the entire pack, you just need like 3,000 milliamps to recharge your phone. So
for sure. And the other part that goes on here is a grill. Like it's literally a grill that goes here and it comes out and it's got 2 legs. I should have taken it out, but it's fine. Okay, you guys can check it out online. And so the last time I used this, I was with you. It was going down La Rivière Noire, so the Black River.
Yeah.
And even though we had portages, we still brought prime ribs for our first evening dinner. and I grilled them on top of that, right? So, and that was kind of cool. That was, that was kind of cool. Let's be honest.
It is. It was. It was.
So,
but we could have done things differently and still cook those ribs.
Listen, for $200. Seriously, come on.
What would you? Okay, now that
Dude, you know what I would have bought?
Yeah.
See, the thing is, I didn't buy that, right? So I'm kind of excused because I would have never purchased it full price. I just got it with my air miles because there was nothing good on there anyways. Yeah. And I saw this, I was like, oh, camping, right? So I just went for it.
And we're gear bitches, so
yeah, what the hell? But like, man, $200. At the time that I purchased this, I would have bought my X-Lite.
Oh,
today, my X-Lite.
For sure.
1,000 times before for the same price. 1,000 times, yeah.
No
for sure.
Questions asked.
Because you go from like a piece of gear that's like top notch to something that you never use.
It's almost a toy for your kid now. You can actually get it out so they can like learn.
Well, I was thinking of bringing it to. We talked about Newfoundland earlier, so the goal of like the plan of our Newfoundland trip was to go. Next June, what we're going to do is we're going to do the entire island, right? So from provincial parks to national parks. Yeah. And I think when this podcast is going to come out either before or after, anyways, it doesn't really matter. But what I did is I purchased an enclosed trailer, which is basically a massive toy box that I'm hauling all my gear in, right? Mountain bikes and tents and a big kitchen, and just to make it more comfortable. So the goal is to go do all the provincial parks, or a lot of them, and go day hikes, mountain biking. So, because with the kids and all that, we're not going to do overnights like, backpacking in the overnight. Backpacking is hard with the kids because they can't carry their gear. And I wasn't going to haul a canoe on top of my car for like 6,000 kilometers either, right? So they're all going to be day trips. So I was thinking of bringing that thing, like, just put it to use. I have it. It's such a shame that I'm not using it in a way, right? Like, it's kind of cool, but
it's giving
the BRS is so much more better. Like, it's such a better alternative for $20. And
seriously, for $20 the VRS.
Don't buy the BioLite, guys. Even if you're car camping, you know what I bought for car camping for the trip? I bought the Eureka LX Ignite, which is a two-stove burner how do they call that? A two-stove burner? I think that's what it's called. A two-stove burner that fits two 12-inch cast iron pan on it.
You can feed a freaking village.
And it was $200. Like, and probably close to the same weight.
But then again, a twig stove, you will never run out of fuel. There is always twigs.
Unless you're in the Himalayas above tree line.
But then you don't bring that.
And you don't bring the BioLite to go climb Mount Everest.
Exactly. Just you or me, bro. I got. Maybe you don't do that. But
maybe don't do that.
But then we're like laughing at the BioLite, but really, there is a moment where a twig stove, no matter the twig stove, it is really useful.
Your twig stove. Maybe we can show it another time, but your twig stove is super expensive, but man, it's great. It's so small.
It is small, and I went crazy getting the titanium version of it. It's the Firebox. It's 4 ounces because it's made of titanium. Yeah. But there is the same design from the same company, made in stainless steel, and I believe it's like $60 or $40.
Yeah.
It's twice or 3 times the weight.
Wait. The stainless steel is $60? How much did you fucking spend on that thing?
I'm not telling you.
Dude, you went above $100 for that fucking thing?
I'm not telling you.
And I mean, it works, but dude.
I'm not telling. Stop.
You should. We should all like stare at the cam and be shamed.
Okay, when I bought it, I feel like I need to explain myself. What is
You
this?
should. You should.
Okay, when I bought shame.
Shame.
Okay, throwback Game of Thrones. But no, really, when I bought it, I was in a mindset of going ultralight like crazy. And when you get in that mindset, you do stupid shit.
And you hadn't met our friend BRS yet, right?
I haven't met but again, the BRS cannot do the same job. You need to bring a gas stove,
canister,
And in my mind, I was like, okay, I want in my mother pouch, I want my twig stove. Yeah. I want my canteen. Mm-hmm. I want like everything I need in one little pack that's about that big. That's all I want. I want everything to fit in there and to be super light. Yeah. So you gotta understand, like seriously, like that next episode I'll bring it. Like my twig stove fits in my pocket, and you won't know I have a twig stove on me. It's small.
Tiny.
It's tiny. Yeah. It's tiny. And
it's great.
It is. You know, it works super well.
It's great, but you know,
it's crazy expensive.
Well, what did you spend? Tell the audience.
I'm not.
Tell the audience how loaded you are.
I had to sell my soul.
Your soul.
I just
wait.
I think honestly, I think it was $100. No, less than that. It was. I think it was 90. Then I didn't do anything that
I was expecting like $150.
No,
I was expecting you giving me like a crazy stupid number because you know sometimes shit is that expensive for no reason.
Absolutely, but no, I'm not that crazy. It is crazy, but I'm not that crazy. And honestly, there is so many alternative out there in the universe of the twig stove. Yeah, like we talked about the Bush Buddy, but there is just so many options.
But the Bush Buddy is big. I was looking at it. I really would like. I need a twig stove.
You do need a twig stove.
I need a twig stove for multiple reasons. In my opinion, for multiple reasons. Like your twig, like again, like I'm not in the world of being an ultralighter. If anybody's ever watched any of my videos, I don't have the money or the interest to go that light.
Yeah.
I like lowering my base weight. But I also enjoy, like when we did the Adirondacks last winter and the winter before, I like being able to say I climbed all that with 55 pounds on my back. Like I enjoy that status. Like, you know what I mean? Like I really do. And in a sense that I need to train really hard to get there. It's difficult. I put myself in these situations. So I enjoy it. But let's be honest, I have been trying to reduce my base weight because you know, at some point it's just crazy, right? So for sure, but for me, a twig stove like yours, it's an added security when I go out on the trail. And I know that a lot of the thru hikers or the ultralighters, they don't bring
backups.
2-3 different options, backups, right? Yeah. They don't do that. And fair enough. Like I don't do whatever you want. I don't care. But for me, like a twig stove like you have, it's 4 ounces. It's so small you can put in your pockets. It's a great option to bring because it's so much harder to make a fire compared to that. I saw you use it last summer and I couldn't believe how efficient it was.
It's so dumb. It was pouring rain.
Rain.
We were under tarp and we were like, oh, crap.
You're using pine needles.
No, start the thing and it just goes. And honestly, I got 2 different twig stove. You've seen the 4-ounce one. It's really small.
But really I've seen the one with the big one too. I've seen you use it too.
I got a big square one. You've seen that one? Okay.
But you've lost the top part you were telling me.
No, but that's when I had the round one. I lost the.
Oh, okay, so I haven't seen the squared one then.
You haven't seen the big square one. So for my birthday a couple of years ago, Nick and Mike from Aubé gave me a twig stove, a big one, and that's the difference. It is much heavier, but my 4-ounce twig stove is really thought for like one person boiling water.
Yeah,
like 1 cup of water.
750 millimeter.
Yeah, like
cup, like your titanium mug.
We're not
just like your BRS. Just like your BRS, though.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
But then the twig stove that the guys gave me is much bigger. And then you can put a pot on this. and make pasta.
Yeah,
like,
for everyone.
That's the difference. But then again, the point is always like, you just freaking walk, I don't know, 20 miles or a little bit less. Let's say you did 15K, or you paddle freaking, and you did portage, and you did a 32K day. You don't want to go and chop logs and process wood, and you just want to eat now. You're tired. You want to sit and eat now, and you're like, God, I don't have any more fuel because I'm on day 6 and I didn't thought of it.
Or
it
was windy, you used it more.
Or whatever reason, you're just like, well, I'm just gonna take twigs that are on the floor, and it works. It works beautifully. It takes like 4 minutes to boil a cup of water. That's about it.
Yeah.
Like, it works very, very well. Like, and what else do you have to do when it's raining under the tarp? Really?
Yeah, there's not that much to do, it.
At one point you need to relax, but you
do
want to fight.
And that's all it is, for sure. And
I'm curious to see though if during a fire ban you're allowed to use them. Actually, I don't know that.
No, you're not.
You're not.
So depending on the fire ban, they'll also even there are some stoves they won't allow you to use.
Do they need to be like covered?
No, So when we went 2 years ago already, not last summer, the summer before, with the kids, and Gabi and Pam actually came. That was one of the first video I did it in French back then on the channel. It's like, I think it's the second video I've ever put out. There was a fire ban, and you weren't allowed to use natural fuel for any kind of like combustion. And I believe, at the very least, in the Algonquin Park, and we would need to fact check this, and I could be completely wrong, I believe that even liquid gas stove are banned at some point, depending on how bad it gets. I
remember that we did hot dog on the blue flame of a BRS.
Yes, it wasn't a BRS. It was a Lixada, the big one.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Yeah. How many stoves do you have?
That's a
great
question. Like I got a Coleman, a BRS, an Alexia. I don't have a big like 2 stove, and I don't have like a liquid fuel stove. So I'd say 3. I'd say just 3 plus 3 and 2 twig stoves. So does that count?
5, absolutely. Okay, tomorrow night we take all of our stoves out. That's what we do.
Oh, I like that.
Because I have I think I have 5 or 6 stoves. Like, stoves are a hot thing to buy. Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you a story about. I'll keep it for tomorrow since we're going there tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
Man, the first time I've used a liquid stove.
Yeah, that's tomorrow night's story then. Because tomorrow, okay, so let's get that ready for tomorrow. We take all of our stoves out. You just see and you might see some progression as well. I want to see the order of which you bought each of those.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And why did you think that would be the right thing to buy the first time around, the second time around? How does that sound?
That sounds perfect.
So what else did you find in your closet then? Because you emptied that dark closet underneath the staircase.
If you check out my Instagram, I posted, I was so excited. I was like, I posted look what I did today because I couldn't go out. I cleaned out the gear room.
You're gonna freaking laugh at this. You're gonna fucking laugh at this because I have a really fucking funny picture coming out soon. So as part of the routine, now that we're all hunkered in at home, right? So the kids are there. We're basically left to be homeschooling, and honestly, the more we look at it, it looks like we're just gonna finish the school year at home, right? So Nat and I are just trying to put together like kind of a homeschooling schedule. So the first thing we do in the morning after breakfast, usually what they would do is they would get on the bus and kind of go play outside a little bit and then go inside at school. So what we do is we go for just a walk. Usually simple, small, just get some fresh air. And dude, is it ever nice? This morning, I couldn't believe how refreshed I was for like a 10-minute walk. Because when we get old, we get so busy with everything. We don't have recess. We don't have anything, right? So we don't do these things. And now it's like, Oh, dude, that feels really fucking good, man, to start your day. So anyway,
you know what? I used to do it with my dog. I used to go and walk my dog in the morning.
Yeah.
And
but
then
anyway,
I got lazy.
So I found, so you're going to see, there's going to be a picture coming out soon. It's, I think it's quite funny. It's a way to motivate your kids to hike. And it's like, it's obviously a humoristic picture, but yeah, it'll be like,
you dressed yourself as a drag queen and you were running after them and you were like, oh, what is this guy?
Yeah, it could be that.
Yeah, it could be that.
You know what I should teach on my channel?
No. Well, there's a lot of things you should.
It's an old camp counselor technique, how to chase kid 101. There's a technique to it. Maybe it'll be on the Instagram.
I can't wait to see. I'm wondering.
Brendan taught me that a long time ago. There's a posture to it.
There's
guy's
a body position. 6'9".
Yeah, it's even better when he does it. because he's 6'15".
But you run just beside them and you're like, are you done yet, or do you need me to push you? Is that it? Because the guy has so much big legs, it's so funny. Anyway,
what did you find?
What else? I found 4 headlamps.
4.
And honestly,
why?
I'm going there. Give me a chance.
All right.
I'm just warming up. The first one is my girlfriend's.
Okay.
And it's a cheap one. And I thought, she was like, where did you put my headlamp? And I'm like, well, where did you put it? And she's like, no, you're in charge of the gear. You stored it. Where the heck is my headlamp? And I was like, I bought her another headlamp. I don't know where it is. And then I found it. So I got her headlamp.
2 from her.
And 2 from her. And then I had my Black Diamond that I lost a couple of months ago. I was really like, where the hell is my Black Diamond headlamp? I love this thing. And then I found out where it was a week and a half ago when I did when I filmed how to sleep warm in a hammock. I did that video. It was in the hammock. It was actually in the hammock. So I was like, Jesus, yeah, get your shit together.
Get your shit together.
But since
and you're let's tell everybody, let's tell this whole fucking world how terrible you are. Okay? Tangent. Story time, people. Sit back, crack a beer, and listen. We come back. You guys probably saw the Adirondack video where Pierre and I, Alain, Nick, did Haystack last winter. Oh yeah, no, that's the best. I know where you're going. There can't be. Wait, I have another one too. Okay, wait. Story time. We'll start. We'll go in chronological order. So let's start from last summer.
Oh man,
Pierre Antoine is a professional in front of the camera. Okay, so when he's in front of the camera, still is. When he's in front of the camera, he understands a couple of concepts. First off, you never wear glasses.
Yep.
So he takes his glasses off right now. So you guys don't know that Pierre Antoine is as blind as.
They're right here, people.
Fill in the blank. Okay, yeah. He's blind. He can't legally drive probably without them.
You know what the worst? I'm gonna shut the hell you down right now. I actually got 20/20 eyesight. The problem is I got astigmatic. So
that's
my
for style?
eyes go. No. So my eyes go. There's one of my eyes just doesn't give a shit about the other one, and it goes like this. And then I start to see double, and then I get the worst headache ever, and I just can't focus on anything anymore just because my brain wants to freaking explode. So I need glasses to bring the fucker back. That's what I need it for.
How does the glasses do that?
So the way it works is that it's a little bit weird, but the weight changes the light, I guess.
Okay.
It pushes because
it
the
stimulates your eye to come back.
Exactly. The way that the glass is bent forces my eye, and it changed the way the light goes in, and then I just moves to the right place,
right.
and then
I'll give you some
I don't
slack.
look like a fucker. Thank you.
I'll give you some slack. You're not that blind, but
I'm
still,
not
for
that
someone
blind.
who needs his spectacles,
Yes.
we go canoe camping, and the guy leaves them in my car. And the thing that you guys don't know is that we live about a solid 60 minutes away from each other. So the next day, he has to drive all the way back to my house just to get his glasses. Yeah. And then last winter, we had to stay. Actually, tomorrow the podcast with John's coming out. So on my personal podcast, the P podcast, where I just interview people, other YouTubers and stuff like that. I had a podcast where we came out of the mountains. We had to stick around in Lake Placid, shoot the podcast, get in the car. It's kind of late, and we got at your house probably close to midnight. It was fairly late, right?
Yeah, it was.
I would say around midnight. Anyways, and I'm like, oh, dude, man, do you have all your gear? It's like, dude, it's gonna be easy. Everything's in the bag. Grabs his backpack, leaves. I'm like, okay, peace out. Then so I get home. I just drive into the garage. I leave everything in my car. I go to bed because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm tired because I walked like 20 kilometers in like hip deep snow with like 60 pounds on my back. No, it wasn't that bad. But so I go to bed. The next day I get a text message like, do you have my gaiters by any chance? I go in the car and what was the countdown? I found your gaiters, your Arc'teryx Gore-Tex shell, his jacket, his fucking jacket.
Hey, in my defense, I'm not the only one who forgets his shell.
Yeah, Nick the year before when we went to the Adirondacks, he literally forgot his shell and did the entire trip with no hard shell. So that was props. What else was in there? So your gaiters, your shell, your battery bank, your battery bank. Yeah. And there's a fourth one.
I think it's my gloves.
And your gloves. That's what it was. So pretty much. So actually, maybe we should go the other way around. What did you get? What did you bring back? So anyways,
my empty backpack.
So why were we telling the story that you're a very forgetful person again?
Because when I went in the Northwest Territories with Matt. Matt, yeah.
Yes, no, but that is a good story. But before I started story time,
because I forgot, I lost my headlamp. That's what it is.
That's right.
I lost my headlamp in the hammock that I just found.
And then I'm assuming you bought another one because you thought that Black Diamond was gone.
Exactly. So
now you have.
But then now I got 4. I got 4 headlamps. But then honestly, I was super stoked when I bought the 4th headlamp at sale because it was like $15. Yeah. It was under the $20 rule.
$15.
$15, and I was looking for a USB rechargeable headlamp. So I got this girl right there from from Cells.
They sell a Canadian company?
I think so, actually. So Cell is like it's like an REI, but more towards.
No, I'd say it's more like hunting. A Cabela's.
You're right. It's really more like Cabela's. You're absolutely right.
So there's some camping, but most of it is fishing and hunting.
Yeah, it's a 2-store store. It's huge. It's like a Walmart
2-story
outdoor.
Yeah.
It's a story. So anyway, I got the headlamp $15 because it's USB rechargeable. It follows the Mite rule under $20, and this thing sucks so much.
It's not good.
I thought you liked it. I loved it the first week I owned it, and I was like, "It's awesome." And since we went in the Adirondacks, it does not like the cold, and it never went back. It still got frozen toast. Like it doesn't turn. It turns on, and then it turns off by itself after like 5 seconds. The white light, the red light, doesn't matter. It just shuts off after 5 seconds, and then you gotta open it again. And then in a couple of seconds, it will shut back. You just did. It just did. It just did.
But
so
wait
I'm
a second.
This is a piece of shit.
Is that because it's a fairly cheap headlamp?
It is, but it was working fine.
Would most rechargeable headlamp do that?
I don't think so.
Because here's the thing. Did you sleep in it with it?
Yeah, of course.
You slept with it and it did that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's terrible. Okay.
It's terrible. It's going in the garbage.
Because we did sleep at -3 37 degrees Celsius, 36.
Yes, but then in our sleeping bag and sleeping system that we had.
No, for sure. Because I always sleep with my headlamps regardless.
Of course, you want to save the electronics, right?
And I want to be able to reach it if I need it. If I get hit in the head or something, by like something falling off from the sky.
Oh man, PTSD in the
dude, that was that. You know, like I don't
Were
know.
You scared it was like an animal or something?
No. Here's the deal.
I was laughing so much at that.
Here's the fucking deal, though. I don't know if I'll ever sleep the same in a tent again in the backcountry. Seriously, because here's fact.
Yeah.
Every year people die from trees falling on their tents.
Yes.
Fact. Okay.
They're called Black Widows. Yeah.
No, not Black Widows. Widowmakers.
Widowmakers. Sorry, yeah, Widowmakers. Black Widows.
Black Widows. That's a spider. Are they not the spiders? Yeah,
it's a spider. Widowmakers.
Fucking French guy. So, okay, but here's the deal. That night, there's a lot of wind in the in the top of the trees, and because of the different rain and snow, it created these like crusty big chunks of snow, and the wind was so strong it blew them off. It would blow them off the tree, and it fell on the tent and a piece. Now here's the deal. I don't know if that's what hit me or if it's the lantern inside the so a massive piece hit the tent and something hit me in the head while I was sleeping. So I always assumed
that the piece Al Foot that hit you in the face.
No, that would have been Nick. But I don't think it was because, man, the timing couldn't have been perfect. Something hit me in the head. I believe it's a chunk of that and when that hit, both our candle lights went off the hooks from the ceiling. The lantern that we had went off the hook. Actually, you know, to answer your question about that headlamp, small tangent, the lantern that you left there, the lantern that you have, stuck out the -40 for 2 days, and it's probably working fine. So yes, you're right. The cell rechargeable headlamp is fucking garbage. Throw it in the garbage. All right. So something hit me in the head. But both the candle lights were at my feet, and we found the lantern at my feet. So it could be Nick could have very well kicked me. Fair enough. I'm willing to but I'm pretty sure it was the piece. It's the piece. It's the piece that fucking bent the tent. Anyways, so now that whole night. So to tell everybody the story, I get hit in the head. It's the middle of the night. Okay, and I'm sleeping comfortably, and then I get hit, and my immediate response is I sit up. Oh no, I actually go on my all four on my belly, and I'm like, I got hit in the head. I got hit in the head.
And the worst is our reaction.
Nobody does dick. Nobody does anything but me. Everybody's just laying down, and they're like, "What the?"
We know what's going on. We know what's going on. Okay, and we're laughing. I remember this so much. I just turned and I was just.
But I didn't hear anything. I was the only one freaking out.
Well,
so I go back to bed
because you were freaking screaming.
And all night, every time I heard the wind pick up, I woke up. So my point is,
you're PTSD for real, brother.
I might not ever be able to sleep in the tent the same way I have in the past from now on.
I think you might need to block your ears and put a mask on. And
I already blocked my ears.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's a little trick,
honestly,
people.
The question I'm wondering is, because we used your tent is a 3-season tent, and we used it anyway during winter because it worked for us. But then I wonder if you had used a winter tent. Because the pole system is different usually on a winter tent. It's much more solid, and the canvas is less flexible. It's thicker. Would have that been to 10? It's heavier. Would it have been to 10? I think not, actually.
I don't know. So here's the deal. So my sister has a Eureka 3-person 4-season tent, an actual real one, and I've used it in the past. Great little tent. It's old now. It's got to be 15 years old now. maybe even older. But I mean, that's the beauty about gear. If you take care of your gear, it lasts for fucking ever.
Yeah.
And I remember my brother-in-law, Dum, telling me the story of them sleeping on top of Mount Washington or on the way up. You can't sleep right on top, but like on the way. So above tree line. And Mount Washington has
crazy winds.
Yeah, I believe they still hold the world record of the strongest wind ever recorded, and it's above 200 kilometers an hour. I think it's like 212. Anyways, point is like blow you off your feet. Like, it's not a hurricane, but hurricanes can be as strong as that. Does that make sense? Anyways. So point is, he was telling me they were sleeping up there with like 100 plus kilometer an hour wind.
Yeah.
And the whole fucking tent, poles and everything would bend on them. They're sleeping and the whole freaking thing would just like, and they'd be like, shit, we're going to start flying. So I don't think any tents, winter or summer, are designed to receive massive blocks of ice on them. That's my point. Before everybody hates my 3-season tent, I don't think anybody designs a winter tent with that purpose to be able to hold that.
But it's so freaky because we looked at the spot and made sure there was no widowmakers.
Dude, I always do that. No, it's the ice block. And I mean, that's the first time. I mean, I've been winter camping for 14 years now. Like mid-winter, like minus 40 kind of winter. First time this ever happens to me. Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, so I don't know if I'll ever be able to sleep the same way.
I think you will. With enough whiskey, you will.
With whiskey, yes. with a decent. But here's the problem, though, is I try to not drink. So the problem is winter camping. When you go out, and let's say like in the Adirondacks, like, because we're actually physically, when we go in the Adirondacks, we're going there to hike, to summit mountains. We need to be refreshed. We need to be strong. Like, it's not time to have like too much to drink before you go out the next day. You wake up at 4:30, you leave at sunup, you come back at sundown. But my point is that when you drink in the winter, you have to pee all the time. And that's also it's annoying in a tent, getting out of the tent. So I never drink that much in the winter.
Well, it's a good call, though. I wouldn't drink much in the winter either, especially when you're doing peaks. It's like, as you said, it's not time to be tired. It's time to be refreshed. You need your full mind. You can't be hangover. No, you just can't.
What we did this year on Haystack? Are you fucking kidding me, man? Hangover on there? That would be dangerous. That would be dangerous, right? Like, that's the thing, right? And when I tell the story of our, because unfortunately the videos that we put out of that trip doesn't give justice to what it was. And the thing is that there's a reason why it doesn't give justice, because I didn't fucking record when I was on the peak. Why? Because it was too fucking crazy. I couldn't record. Then you know what I mean? Like, that's the reality of it. Like, and I'm like, man, I look back at the footage and I'm really proud of that video personally. I really enjoy it. And I'm like, God, no peak shots. Like, but there's no way I could have done any peak shots. Like 100-kilometer wind, and that thing was so slippery. Like, any one of us could have just tumbled down a mountain and
easily
gone.
I'm glad my mom is not going to listen to this podcast, because
so here's where I was going with that. I'm telling the story to people, and people are like, "Dude, you're insane! Like, you've got 2 kids." It wasn't in the moment. It wasn't that risky. It's the possibilities. It's the possibilities that made it bad. So,
but then we took our precautions, though.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm 14 years into this. I've built the skill set to face that. Yeah. And you know me, I come to the mountain extremely in shape. Like I put a lot of emphasis on that so that I can. I mean, like twisting your ankle can just happen. Being, a misstep can happen, but to me it's like, okay, if I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to get there as in shape as I can, because when I'm fucking tired, when I'm really tired, I can't be thinking about my legs. I need all my power up here to make the right move, the right decision, right? And it sounds like we're talking about avarice right now. It's not that crazy either. Like, it's just, but I do treat it very I like to think that for me, that's how I pay respect to the mountains. I come prepared.
You come prepared.
Well, and that's what I do. And it's personal to me, because not everybody else on our trip does that, and everybody summited. That's fine. But to me, with the responsibilities that I have kids, I have a wife that rely on me, like, financially a lot, and just for the fact that, I'm a part of their lives.
Right? You're supposed to raise those children.
Yeah, right. And for me, that's the level that, I feel comfortable going out with that, because I know, I'm putting all the eggs in my basket to make sure that nothing happens, right? So I treat it very like this, and I mean, like, it's the thing that I enjoy the most doing. So the last thing I want to be and I don't get to do it that often, right? Like, you don't have kids, you could technically go a lot more. You do other things, right? You'll go more bushcrafting and kind of like set up with the guys, and that's just as fun. But for me, it's like I'll probably get one outing every winter, a real outing, without the kids, right? Because I'm gonna start going a lot more with the kids now, but without the kids. So when I go, it's like, it's not like summiting for me is not enough. It's I don't have the option not to summit. Of course, I will bail out if I have to, but my fitness level will be up to par, because I go once a year.
It's not what it's going to stop you. It's not what is going to stop you. But another thing in the same mindset is not only be physically prepared, but also having the proper gear. Because like, if we didn't have those crampons, we got lucky. We bought crampons like
Tell the story of the crampon. That was fucking insane.
We went in an outfitter just
to try to meet John.
Exactly. For your podcast with him, and we were just like, we're in Salt Lake City. We got time to waste, because
no, Lake Placid, dude.
Yeah, Lake Placid, like Salt Lake
across the country. I'm gonna go for a second glass here.
Go. Okay,
here's what I'm drinking.
Oh, that's nice.
Classic Irish whiskey.
We're at Lake Placid, and we just went to, because we got time to lose. We know we're gonna do. Our entry is going to be like 6K, and it's going to be that. We're going to do our base
camp, and it's going to be minus 40.
It's going to be minus 40, so we don't want to be sitting in the tent for like 8 hours.
We want to get there, eat, sleep.
Exactly.
So we have time to waste.
Exactly. So we went to the outfitter. We're looking at everything. We're like, shit, everything is expensive here. It's like the same prices, but as in Canada, but it's in US dollar, but
and our Canadian dollar sucks.
So we were ready to go. Like, Nick and I were at the door, ready to go, waiting for you, and you just went like, guys, come here. You asked the dude, like, do you have crampons on sale? Just for the sake of it, because you got nice boots. That just needs crampons. You got mountaineering boots. So the guy's like, no, not really, but you know what? I guess we got some rentals that you could have a look at. It's a shitty box.
He tried to sell me the real big thing, right? He's like, oh, look at these guys. They're awesome. I'm like, I know they're awesome. I'm asking you, I'm only going to buy a pair of crampons if it's a steal. Like a dime and a dollar. Like, I'm only going to buy a crampon. So I'm like, do you have any like used stuff or anything like that, right?
Yeah. And then he brought us like in the back store that's not even in the main store. Like, you're gonna cross a little,
open a little door through.
I was like,
through a little back alley into another shop.
It's not even a shop. It looks like a shed. It's just like,
dude, I swear to God, it's like, 6 feet wide by 15 feet deep. That's what it is.
Yeah. And he like, there's a box there with crappy crampons, almost destroyed. If you find like 4 or 5 parts and it goes together, you could make one.
Yeah.
You know, and we're looking at this stuff and it was just crap. And I'm like, oh, well, actually this one is like
all the parts.
All the parts are there. And then you find one for your boots because mine aren't mounting boots. I need a pair of crampons. I can't just take any kind of boots.
Yeah.
You need
mine are the one that
special
clips on, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And then Al finds a pair of crampons a little bit like you. No, you actually you got a pair of crampons
but for
like
ice
yours,
climbing.
But he does not have the boots because he's just anticipating of getting the boots. But you had an extra pair for him. So anyway, at the end of that, the guy was like, "Yeah, $30 a pair." $30.
My black diamond crampons are $175, dude.
That's
brand new.
That's insane. That's insane. So we were like, Stanley, start the car. Like,
start the car. Dude.
It's a steal. So we're like, okay, we got the crampons, buddy, for like $1 on the diamond. You say it? It's crazy.
No, a dime and $1.
A dime and $1. I don't give a shit. It was crazy cheap for us. And those are really good crampons. I mean, mine are G10. I'm like, what the heck? Like, so anyway, they're great. And we did like together, we did 5 peaks now? Yeah. And we never needed crampon. Like MSR Evo, never. Aggressive snowshoe does the job. And then we get to Little Haystack and it's just like crazy wind, 100 kph.
Ridiculous,
and you're just like, and we're just looking at this. It's a massive rock with ice all over and a 30
no trees
angle,
nothing to hold on to.
And we're like, guys, there's no way we're doing this with snowshoes. We need to put on the crampons. And if we didn't have the crampons, I'm sorry, we're turning back.
No. Yeah, we were turning back.
We were turning back.
There's no way. There was no way down Little Haystack without those crampons.
Absolutely. And it's like, okay, well, no matter the fitness level, you got to use your brain.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
And
in that case would have been like, just turn around. That's all you could have done.
But then we got the proper gear.
Yeah.
So we were able to do it. And that's huge. And the other thing is you need to know how to use your gear.
Yeah. Because I was having a hard time with his.
Because you didn't understand how to tie those crampons. The system was a little bit weird. Let's be honest. It's not really, it was pretty unique. So you had a hell of a time with those and they fell off and he had to put them back and you needed to help him like 5 times. And so know how to use your gear, practice with your gear before you go out. That way, when you're in a crazy situation with 100 kph wind, you're not like, holy crap, how do I use this? Like, and you need to be on ball.
And to loop back around with how we opened this podcast with what do we do in this social isolation situation where we can't do anything. You know, you cleaned your gear shed, your gear closet. I do this like regularly year round. It's therapy for me. It's just fun. You know me.
I'm gonna start doing that.
You know me.
I'm gonna upgrade it.
But here's another thing though. It's a great timing to test some of your gear. You won't test it on the trail, but you can get better at putting your tent up faster. You can get better at understanding how to tie your crampons. You can get better at putting that fucking thing together.
I am never trying to put that together again.
But you know what I mean, though? Like it's a good time to go through your gear the way you did today.
Absolutely.
And kind of take the inventory.
Yeah.
Assess what you have and have fun with it. Like, why not?
Absolutely. How come I have 5 stoves? Like, now you mention it, I'm like, what the heck do I have 5 stoves? How did that happen?
I have to say, except the BioLite, which I'm not ready to burn it. You know what I mean? I'm not ready to throw it in the landfill yet because it's like, God, there's got to be a time where it's useful. You know, that's still what I'm thinking about. I think about it from time to time. I'll be in bed before going to bed. I'm like, when the fuck am I going to use that thing? Like, I'm trying to put the puzzle together, right? So you
want to prove to yourself it was okay to buy this.
It was okay. I need to find how I'm going to use it. But the point is, honestly, I use them all. I actually use all of my stoves. And I have 1, 2, Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 with that twig stove with the BioLite. And except the BioLite, I just saw a fucking fly by.
What's going on?
I swear to God.
Okay, chase it for 5 seconds while I'm getting a beer. I'll be right back.
You need me to entertain people?
Yeah. Well,
so anyways,
not too long. I'm right there. I'm back.
Oh, you're already back. God, dude, you got me sweating. I was like, dude, it's my first time alone on cam. Like, I should probably fix my shirt, like flip my ball cap around. I don't know. Like, what is this? Like, should I start my video all over? What's going on, everyone? Marty here at Père Extrême.
Okay. Well, it's time to talk about your big rig, buddy.
It's not a bad beer.
I don't know,
Is that from the restaurant we have in town?
It's a double chocolate milk stout. It's a
midnight
kiss. Yeah, it's just a double chocolate milk stout.
You know,
I should maybe drink that in a glass. I don't know. Yeah. Should I?
You know how any kind of drinks or beer, you kind of need a portal in, right? So, so if, for example, if you want to try to get into the IPA world, you need a way in that's not too aggressive, right?
Right.
So, like, for me, it was a Goose Island. Very classic, light for an IPA, you know? Just kind of get you in, right? It's just like, oh, okay. And then you go for it, right? So, in the world of stouts, for me, I always... No.
Oh, okay.
I always hated stouts until I tried Saint-Ambroise, which is a microbrewery in Quebec.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, okay. I'm ready to try this a couple more. And then now I fucking love stouts. Stouts are like,
you know, and there's seasons. I feel you don't drink a stout during the summer. You drink a stout during winter or fall.
Winter when your beard is nice and
grown. I chopped mine a little. Jeez, I shouldn't. Man, absolutely. Anyway, so we were saying
stoves. I use all my stoves. That's my point.
I don't use all of my stoves, to be honest. I think I use most of them, not all of them. But I remember clearly why I bought each of them.
And that you're gonna keep for tomorrow night's conversation.
I will. I promise I will. But you got to keep that in mind because this happens with a shitload of gear.
So much.
How many sleeping bags do you have? How many?
But here's the thing, though.
How many cups do you have?
Here's the thing, though. Yeah. When we started, YouTube didn't exist the way it does today.
Definitely. So we did not know better. It was tough to do a research and get all the information to do the smart buy. So to be informed.
Yeah, YouTube wasn't there. I don't like reading blogs. I personally don't like reading blogs, and I'll tell you why. I enjoy reading. So I do enjoy reading. Yeah. Because some people hate it, but my problem is I'm not an efficient reader, so it takes me a while to read.
Yeah, me too.
But the problem with all the fucking blog publications is that they do it on purpose. They're like, okay, this is a 30,000 word post, right? So it's like they go on forever and forever. A little bit like, I'll take me for an example, a little bit like some of my videos where we're making them long for no reason. Like, and now you've been trying, but you know what I mean? Like, it's true. Like, we talk way too much. We can condense shit way more than that, right? So, but reading a blog post comparing to like going on my couch and just putting YouTube on and watching it's a lot less effort, right? Point is, we didn't have any of that shit when we started. So, and when AliExpress came out,
that's a big, yeah.
When AliExpress came out, you're like, dude, what if? Cheap. And that was because you and I bought a shit ton of stuff from AliExpress. Okay. And before the gear made it to Amazon. Because nowadays, when you find something on AliExpress, for everyone, a little tip, before you order anything and wait like fucking 6 months to get it, check on Amazon.co.com if they sell the same item, because these Chinese companies have made their way, they've weaseled their way into the Amazon world, right?
And often it's going to be on Amazon. Well, for me, because I use Amazon Prime all the time because I don't want to wait.
Who wants to wait?
Exactly. Well, usually it's like $5 to $10
Yeah.
more
For overnight delivery. For fucking overnight delivery.
I don't want to wait.
I ordered something once on Amazon in the morning, and by dinner it was at my door. And I know for people that live in LA, that's regular. Like, that's just what the fuck it is. Yeah. For them, like, 1-day delivery or same-day delivery in some of the places in USA, Christ, like, baby. They have 36 million people in LA. And not in LA, in California, right? So, like, they have a lot more shit.
This is more people. Is it more people than, like, our country?
Dude, 100%. There might be, okay, because the thing is, the census in the States doesn't account for, and that's, it doesn't account for all the Mexicans, all the people that are illegally there. Illegal. Right? And I'm not, I'm not saying this as if there shouldn't be there or anything like that. That's not my point. The point is that the census only covers the people that are legally in there. Right.
So there's more than 36 million.
There's way more than that. Right. So the point is that their services are different than us. Right. Just because of that. My point is that with Amazon Prime, though, I've ordered something once early in the morning and had it before the end of the day.
That's crazy.
So, but to go back when we started and when AliExpress came out, all these Chinese companies like Tokes, Lixada, BRS, they hadn't made it to Amazon yet. And you and I, as pioneers, I don't know, but as early adopters of AliExpress and the outdoors, we ordered a shit ton of things from AliExpress just to try them out. Like, and honestly,
it was cheap.
It was cheap, and there's a decent amount of gear that I still use heavily.
Oh,
from there. Now I would buy it from Amazon.ca just because I'd have it on Prime, and they, like I said, they weaseled. All these companies made their way onto the Amazon platform. But some of the stuff like that Lixada stove, the orange box, I use it all the time. It's a great stove for when I go out with the kids, because the BRS is not big enough for me.
It's a great stove the second you want to use a pan. It's a great stove for
or
that.
A pot.
Or a pot.
For $20.
Man,
the fuck, man. Like the MSR, like the same version of it for MSR is like $85, $90. Like I can buy 3-4 of these, and to be honest,
that never fell on you.
I only had one fell on me. And the reason why it fell on me is because we were out in the, it was last year when we went to the Adirondacks. I brought that. I was testing out a new system where I found a way to, so these canister stoves are designed for like blends, right? Like butane/propane. But I had found a way with an extra adapter to put it straight on one of them green propane tank. And when I had done the test from my liquid gas stove from MSR, and this one, it was the same weight. So that's why I brought it. I want to test it out in the winter because propane doesn't freeze the way butane and all that freezes, right? But the problem is that propane creates a lot of condensation. And the condensation happens in the line once you're done, right? Because like for whatever reason, I'm not a scientist, but I don't understand, but it creates condensation. And the mistake that we did is that we just left the stove in the vestibule all night.
It froze.
And when we reattached it the next day, we moved it around, and we literally broke the gas line where there's a minor leak, basically, right?
Because we could smell gas.
Oh, and the fucking gas was coming out of the gas line, and what saved our asses? Literally saved our asses.
My BRS, baby.
Your little tiny BRS. So
we made water for 4 men with that little thing. Jesus. It took it long.
But the point is that like we bought a lot of shit from AliExpress back in the day, right?
We did.
And I don't regret having explored that at all.
Not at all. And there's even lately, and when I say lately, I think like in the past 2 months, 3 months, like one of my early videos was about my titanium pot. I think it's a toast.
Your cook set. It's a tumshoe.
It's a tumshoe. You're right. It's a tumshoe.
It's all the fucking same. They just. It's called white labeling.
It's just exactly. It's the same pot. It just they put their name on it, but it's the same pot. So anyway, like I bought it on AliExpress. It's a titanium pot for like under $30. Yeah. That's insane considering I got a Keith titanium canteen who cost like $200.
Yeah, that and man. See, here's okay, let's talk about that. Let's be honest. You're wondering,
do I regret that
canteen? No. Let's be honest here. Is the canteen a similar situation to my BioLite? Except one thing. Wait, let me finish. I do agree
I paid for
it. No, but you do actually use your canteen, where I don't use my BioLite at all.
Oh, exactly.
But I could. I have brought. So last winter I went with you. So we went the past 2 winters to the Adirondacks. The winter prior, which at the time I wasn't making videos, I was just taking pictures and putting it on another website that's not up right now. But anyways, point is, I went with Guillaume, and that winter I brought my BioLite. I literally had my BioLite with me, and I never did it again because it was just like, dude, a twig stove in the winter when I'm hiking, like it's so long, like compared to you know what I mean? Like it's too much management for me, but I did fine. I ultimately did fine, and we did 2 peaks that year too, right? So we did Giant and Rocky Peak in the Adirondacks, but the point is, I don't use my BioLite, so I can't fully compare it to your canteen. But
I'll tell you. Okay.
But
the thing is,
your canteen was extremely expensive for what it is.
It is extremely expensive, but my canteen, it's a canteen kit. Okay, you got to think about it. It's not just a cup. So if you talk about like the Tom Shoe pot, it's just a pot. It's basically a big cup, right? It's a 750 ml pot. That's what it is. That goes in the fire. My canteen is a cup. Fair enough. The same size, not the same shape, but same size.
Weird shape though.
Well, it's a military canteen shape, so
it's got to fit it, right?
I'll bring it tomorrow too. But the point is, it comes with a bottle, a titanium bottle that's a liter.
Yeah.
So
a bit more than a liter.
A bit more than a liter. You're right. So 1,100 ml. But the point is, that's why it's so expensive, because it's a full bottle of titanium. That's what you're also buying there. And that piece I am really, really glad I own, and I bring it everywhere. I bring it during the winter, because what happens with your Nalgene bottle during the winter? Half of you people don't have a winter sleeve for your bottle, and and the other half,
people put socks on it and upside down.
At one point it freezes, and then you're stuck. You can't open it. It takes like a crazy amount of time to warm up the bottle, so you're able to. I just freaking put it on the flame right away, and we've done that last winter.
Yeah, we did. But
so you just put it. So that's number one. Number two, I had an Nalgene bottle fell on me, like I dropped it, and it just shattered. And Nalgene bottles aren't supposed to do that, but it did. So my bottle just shattered. This is never gonna happen with a titanium bottle. It's not gonna happen. And the third thing is, I choose to not do it, but I really, really could. I could take that entire bottle and put it straight in the fire and boil water. I could put it over the fire, and boil a liter of water right there. So I don't need another bottle. I got everything to get it. And the only reason I don't do it, because I could be boiling 1,800 milliliters of water, the cup and the bottle at the same time.
Yeah.
And then
in the fire.
Exactly. And the only reason I don't do it is because I know that the bottle is going to get full of ash. The outside of the bottle is going to get full of ash, and
it's going to get all black.
Yeah. And I don't care visually that it's going to be like that. I care that I'm putting this. I store it in the cup.
Yeah.
And so it's going to dirty the inside of the cup, and then I'm going to be drinking.
You're missing the point.
What's the point there?
There's point
alternative?
No, the point is that, is it worth, what is it, $200?
It's $200. And To be honest, I did not pay the full $200.
No. You get it on sale and all that.
I got it on sale. I had gift cards.
Yeah, gift cards.
And so,
but the thing is that you would never advise someone who's starting to get that.
Never.
You wouldn't even advise someone who's heavily involved in the outdoors to get it.
There is a lot.
Because the other thing too is that because here's the thing with the canteen. There's no sleeves for it. There are no winter koozies for it. So
I don't need any new. Again, I don't need one.
Because you can put it on the fire. But here's the thing, though. The thing that you're not saying is that this winter it froze on you when we were in the Adirondacks. And I didn't have the energy to deal with it. So I just went with the Nalgene's, right? That were all in koozies. Like, I understand for bushcrafting and for base camping.
Yeah.
It's great. I agree with that. But like in the concept of backpacking,
it's not the best. I agree with you. It's not the best because of its shape to me.
Because it doesn't. And you can't put it in your backpack sleeve either. You wear it, right? You usually wear it.
I wear it because I want to drink from it. Like, it's just easy.
Yeah, but for me, I can reach it in my backpack, right? Or someone else can, but yours won't even fit in those sleeves.
Oh yeah, it will.
No,
it will. On my Gregory, I've tried it. It will.
All right.
It's just the thing.
Benefit of the doubt.
But no, it's not just that. Think about it. The pouch has so many clips on it that you can just like. There's 2 carabiners on the pouch. Clip it where the heck you want, but that's what it is.
But then you have shit dangling outside of your pack.
I know. But the point is, it is not. Again, it's like
the point is, I feel like you're making it work because it was so expensive. No. That's my point. Say it. I'm gonna make you say it. If it's not tonight, if it's not a year from now, it'll be one day. You're gonna fucking admit that this piece of shit. No, it's not a piece of shit. It's a cool gear.
It's a really
Listen,
awesome
I'd be freaking stoked if someone gave me that for my birthday. I'd be freaking happy. But I'm never gonna spend $200 for it.
It's because everything has a purpose, right? There's a reason why you don't bring the BioLite when you go freaking doing peaks, but you're trying to figure out when to use it because there's a reason.
There's got to be a timing where it's valuable.
There's got to be a time. There is a time to use this saw, and there is a time to use this one instead.
Yeah, but that's obvious.
They'll both do the job, but there is a time this is much better and this is much better than this. So it's just figure out when to use your equipment, and that's the same thing with that canteen. When I go bushcrafting, I need rug stuff.
I agree.
I'll put it on the fire. I'll be mean with it, and I know that I drop everything all the time. So like I need something that's gonna.
I agree.
And since I had a bad experience with an Nalgene bottle once, I know that when I'm going bushcrafting, it is not you. It's dangerous. It can fail on me. It did once. Though when I go hiking, you're right. There's a reason why I also brought an Nalgene bottle in the sleeve.
Of course.
Because it is more useful to just pop the BR stove, take the water out of the sleeve. It's not gonna freeze you. Not gonna there's way to go around it. But then, it's just figure out when to use your gear. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
And yes, for someone who starts, never buy that canteen. Don't.
Never buy that canteen.
Never buy the canteen to start with. Don't ask it as a gift when you start. Ask for a winter mat, a Thermarest Neo Air Extern mat. Ask for that and spend $200 on that instead, or on a good sleeping bag, or on a good tarp. That's another thing we'll talk about. Getting a good tarp. There's so many things that you should be spending money on, and not this. Absolutely. Get a Tom Shoe pot for $25, $30.
Oh God. That was a great find that I found.
Find. And even water bottles, man. The smart water bottles that are like $3 at the grocery store. There's a reason why every through hikers is using this and not an Nalgene.
But
it's not perfect, but for $3.
Yes. So I'm a huge fan of the Life Proof or the smart water bottle. I have them. I used them last summer when we went on our 4-day canoe camping trip in the Algonquin Park, which, man, we might not be able to go. We have to do it again, but man, is it gonna be done by then?
We'll see, buddy.
Anyways, we'll see. But the point is that because portaging is, God, it's fun. But anyways, I really liked carrying that 1 liter smart water bottle last summer with the Catadine Be Free. Be Free? Yeah. 0.6 liter. It was great. It was a perfect setup for what I was doing in that moment. But I'm not willing to risk. Dude, we slept at minus 36, 37 degrees Celsius. Like, for all the Americans out there, if you guys are listening to us, it meets at minus 40 Fahrenheit and Celsius, okay?
Yeah. And
okay, when I hear the Midwest people saying like, "Oh, we're going winter packing in the low teens," like minus 40, okay? Like I'm not willing to I can't put my trust into such a dinky water bottle. Like I just can't. Like I mean, like this is life or death.
You're proving my point. There is a time and to use different kind of equipment. During winter, minus 40, it's dumb. Don't bring that smart water bottle that's $2.
Or maybe not. I'm just not willing to try it. That's my point.
And I agree. But during summertime,
oh God, it's by far the best option.
Go.
By far. And I think depending on how this whole fucking situation goes, I think I'm gonna buy a soy squeeze. I think I'll do it.
I think I won't. I'll never do it.
You know why you don't like it? I know why. It's because of the backwash system. But there is a way to backwash it with your water bottle.
I don't give a damn about the backwash system.
Oh no. I thought that's why
no. You've used the Canadine. That thing by itself, when you're not using the system, for those who don't know it, it's basically a bottle that's made of silicone, so you can squeeze it in, right? And the filter is on top where you would like drink the water. So the filter is a cylinder that's about like an inch wide by 2 inches, and it's at the top. And when you squeeze, because it's not going through a small pipe, like regular filters, because it's going through a freaking large filter, it shoots water like you're opening the faucet at your home. It's crazy fast, and it goes like 600 mil. You just did 600 mil of water.
Yes.
Right there. Just boom. And then you're done with it. It's so small. In your life jacket.
I agree.
Go.
For canoe camping, I think it is by far like when I go with the kids, I have this whole like gravity system that's bigger because I just need to be able to provide for more, right?
Absolutely.
But for myself, canoe camping and portaging, the Catadine Be Free. Is it Be Free? I think it is.
I think it is too.
I think it's what it's called. Anyways, point is that system is absolutely the best. You wear it in your life jacket. You drink as you're paddling. It's great. And the part where you're filling the water with, it's large. So that's fantastic. That's fantastic. For hiking, like in the fall, because I don't do a ton of hiking in the summer because I'm out on the water all the time, like portaging, but in the fall and in early spring, like this year we're supposed to go to Mount Gosford in the Eastern Townships. Anyways, so here's the reason why I'm willing to try the soy squeeze is because the Catadine Be Free, when we were last summer, and it's actually coming out in the next couple of weeks, my trip with the kids on the Le Petit Train du Nord. Okay, Rosie was like, with all the other kids, right? She was just so happy. Look, I've got a filter, right? So she goes, and we slept in this place where it was designed for sleeping there. It had platforms and everything, but it was like fucking. It was like what's that called? Like marsh water or like swamp. It was swamp, all right? And she just took the darkest fucking muddiest water, right? Like I swear to God, you couldn't see through the goddamn thing, right? And puts the filter on it, and makes every kid at camp, like, and we're there with like 6 kids, right? So if someone's gonna get sick, we're all getting sick. Fuck it, right? So anyway, so she makes everybody's like, look, it's fine. You can drink out of it, right? But the problem is it really clogged my filter, and there's no way to backwash it. And I tried rinsing it. I tried everything, and the flow never came back. So my point with the Sawyer squeeze is
never happened to me, buddy.
Because you never take that dirty of a water to start. That's why. But I have kids. It's different. My point is, because you have the opportunity to backwash your filter with the Sawyer squeeze. I really want to try that. I want to try. First of all, the other thing too is that it's one of the most popular.
It is.
Water filtration system. So I just want to fucking try it. That's the other thing. I just want to try it.
It's gonna work. There's no doubt about it. It's gonna work. It is gonna work.
Let's be honest here. This is me being a gearhead, just wanted to try it, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
If you got a gravity filter and you got a Canadian filter, you don't need this.
You
just don't. But you're gonna get it.
You don't need it.
No, you don't. And honestly, I really, really enjoy a gravity filter as well. If you're doing base camp,
it's phenomenal. And I have the 4-liter one myself with the kids. Fuck, yeah. I can make water for days.
And the thing is, you can be doing something else. You can be like, while it's filtering, you can go do something else. But it's a pain. It's big. Like, even if it's just like a bag, and you need to, like, it's big. But I figured if you're more than one, if you're like a party of 2 or 3, and you're doing a base camp, and you're like, we're sitting camp on this island, and we're gonna be fishing 4 days, and we're like,
oh god, that's by far the best solution. By far the best solution.
I would suggest for people who are listening, still bring aquatabs. The point is, your filter, it doesn't say 100%. It says 9999 on everything. The point is, there will be some crap that goes through, and that crap will proliferate and overnight.
And that's
after a couple
the plan.
hours.
If you're gonna store the water that you just filter, put the aquatabs in. Absolutely. And honestly, we should probably start an episode with filters and water systems, because
I'm just actually what people want to hear us talk about, because we got so much freaking gear.
Dude, we just literally. I said it in the introduction. We're at 1 hour 52 minutes here, so we can wrap it up. Yeah. But it's a first episode. Like, let's not go 4 hours. Like, I feel like you need to build some. We could. That's why we created this podcast, because you and I will literally riff and
for
talk
hours.
Shit about different gear setups for hours. And honestly, I think any outdoor person who just loves the outdoor does this. And they might be doing that on their own.
Yeah.
So they can join us. So if you guys have any questions, or you want to hear us talk about anything, just drop them in the comments. Pierre, I think you created an email address for us. What is it?
We did.
At Gmail.
It's talktomebrother@gmail.com. That's
dude, that didn't exist. That existed?
No, we got it
taken.
No, it's ours.
Boom.
talktomebrother@gmail.com.
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions or anything like this, you can send us a question through the Gmail account or anything like this. I don't know where we don't know where this whole podcasting is going to go. What we know is we just enjoy shooting the shit together, and just kind of catching up with each other. I mean, Pierre is one of my best friends in the world, and it's just fun spending time together. So we're just putting it out there for you guys to enjoy as well. But if you have questions, you want to participate, you want to send us questions, don't hesitate. We'll definitely address them, and maybe there'll be segments where we'll just take questions or whatever it might be. Cool. I don't know where it's going to go.
That'd be cool.
Who knows where it goes, right? So if you guys enjoyed this, if we were, good companions to you while you were cleaning your house or doing the dishes, right? Or because really podcasts,
your gear room.
Yeah, or cleaning your gear room. What a good time to listen to a Talk to Me Brother podcast while you're cleaning your gear room.
It's so meta. It's so meta. All right,
meta.
Love you, brother, and we'll see you soon, people.
Yes. Make sure to subscribe, right, on the channel. Yeah. And also, if you have time or if you think about it, leave us a review on iTunes. Obviously, that helps as well. And this was fun, man. This was fucking fun. This is really fun. I'm super happy we're finally doing this. We've been talking about it for months, man. This is awesome.
And it begins. It begins.
It begins. Cheers, buddy. Peace. So, on va arrêter.